Hi everyone, welcome back. So, as we were adjusting the variables, so just to make it clear, in the variables.tf, we need only those variables which are getting, uh, you know, uh, transferred from your dev tf vars, right? So, what are those variables? Region, environment, project, because these are getting set by the user, okay? And then you basically map them to be available inside of your infra root folder, right? This is what you are doing. So obviously in the infra variables.tf you would basically need only these 5 variables, so to speak. Two for your zip path for the 2 lambdas, and then the 3 generic variables which we will have in all the projects, okay? uh, so only those variables in variables.tf, remember that. So I have also changed the prompts a little bit so that when it tries to create the variables.tf next time, it creates only these 5 variables. Okay, now in the main.tf I have done a couple of adjustments. So in the module section of Lambda, we are having only these settings which will get traversed, which will traverse to the lambda.tf file, right? So you have the file name, which is nothing but the zip path for the 2 lambdas, the function names which we are basically generating with the help of the project and environment variable here itself, which gets passed to the lambda.tf, and the role arns. This is definitely required. This is getting set through the IAM module, because IAM module would be triggered first, or would be created first. The role arns would be available before the lambda gets created, right? Once you have the role arns available, then your lambda would get created under lambda.tf with the help of your lambda function resource, and obviously the outputs would be the actual lambda arns of the 2 lambdas, and also the names we can basically have it in the output, okay? And as far as the variables are concerned, obviously the variables would be nothing but they would match whatever we have put here in the left part of it. This particular name should match the variables under the lambda module section. Okay, so you have the ingestion file name, compliance file name, the ingestion function name, compliance function name, the role arns for the 2 lambdas, and the S3 bucket for the 2 lambdas, right? Okay, S3 bucket would be the same for the 2 lambdas, because we are talking about one S3 bucket which would contain the files. So that doesn't make sense to create separate variables for S3 bucket, right? And again, S3 bucket, the value would be set based on the module S3. So S3 would get created before the lambda gets created, and once S3 is available, we can use that here in the module section of lambda. Okay, hope this is clear. Then coming to the step functions part of it, again you need the step functions role arn to be available, which is definitely there. And then you have step functions would get created after the creation of lambdas. So you would need to have so that is why you can point the ingestion lambda arns to the lambda module here, okay? And step functions, currently we have not put the resources required for step functions, which we will do now. I think for lambda we have already done that, and I've just cleaned this up. So coming to the lambda resource, this variable, the function name comes from the function name which we generate, which we created there by using the project environment, and whether it's ingestion or compliance. And then source code hash would be based on the compliance file name. Okay, so this gets generated here itself. Your S3 bucket is coming from your S3 bucket, we have already seen that, and handler and runtime are just right now hard coded with these values, because I don't want to make it generic right now. I mean, we can just set these values for these two settings. Role obviously is coming from your module section. Okay, so hope this makes sense. Now let us go to the step functions related settings. Let me okay, so this is related to the step functions orchestration ASL file, right? Step functions. Okay, you have the lambda.tf, the step function related prompt, which I think is better if we provide this prompt before the ASL file. Okay, so in this prompt I have mentioned which resource I need, which resource we need to be created. Okay, so let us give this prompt and see how it works out. So let me just quickly create step functions.tf. Okay, so this is I think fine, right? Yeah, in main.tf what are we having? Right, so role ARN is there, which is fine. We can create the variable role ARN. Okay, it's not a problem. State machine name, I think we can do this very similar to how we have done it for Lambda, right? So you need it as a name, right? Command C. So this would be the name. State machine, right? So it automatically gets your project, the environment, and then the step machine, right? And yes, under step functions we can again have a variable known as name. Okay. So it is basically having two usages, right? Role ARN also should have two usages. What are we? Step functions, role ARN. Okay, we are calling it that, which is fine. So under your step functions we can just make this as your variable, right? Hope you're understanding how the value is flowing from your dev.tf vares to your infra route, and then from there to the modules different modules like Lambda, S3, step functions, etc. So definition is something which I think we default we don't need. Okay. Step functions role ARN declared multiple times. How is it? Where else we have declared this? But oh, there's a variable file as well. We don't need the variables.tf. Just let us just remove this. Right. You can define the variables inside of your step functions.tf only, because we have a very few variables which we need, right? Okay. So this is fine. So you can use this prompt and do some adjustments for yourself. Now we have to basically more like a right now we need the basic definition or structure of that ASL. Okay, so add the retry logic and error handling also to this file. Let me move to the agent mode. Let it put it itself. Okay. Okay, so we have the ASL skeleton in place, right? I think which should be fine. Now under your since we are missing some required properties, some properties obviously are required which we don't see in any of these resources, right? Which means we have all the required resources, we have all the required properties for all the other resources which we have created, correct? Only for step functions there's a warning, right? just want to see if we can see a list of all the warnings. Okay, it's okay, that I can figure it out later. Let's move to the step functions directly. Okay, so let's add this module step functions also. I mean, I had already given it, but obviously it has not done that, I suppose. Right, obviously these are not needed, so we can remove these. Definition, we need the definition also in modular section of infra main.tf. okay, it has basically put the definition in main.tf. This is what we needed. Now the name of this particular variable has to match with what we are having here. Yes, so we have the same thing, I suppose, for the compliance lambda also. Yes, compliance lambda ARN. So this is the name we are using, so I think we are fine. So basically this is how the definition gets mapped to the actual creation of the step functions resource or service, right? Now coming back, what it has done is it has created a main.tf. So what I'll do is, instead of the main.tf, we will put this resource inside step functions.tf file, because we are following this methodology where we have all these different services, resources getting created in service.tf. so that's the nomenclature we are following, so we'll follow this only. Variables, we have step functions role, ARN, which is coming from IAM, which is fine. Definition is fine. I think tags right now is not very much necessary. I mean, I can keep it, but yeah, I mean, we can give some default value there, and I will not worry about it too much. So in the output we have this step function name and the step function ARN, right? And definition role ARN name, definition name step function ARN, right? Name step functions role ARN and definition. Okay, so this looks good. Type we are giving as state machine type standard, which should be fine. If I remove this, I want to check if it is really a blocker for us. I don't think it's a blocker. We have all the required settings in place for the step functions state machine, so I think we should be fine. Let me remove the main.tf because we don't need it. Whatever they wanted to put in main.tf, we have put in step functions.tf, so on that regard we seem to be fine. Okay, and don't worry about what details it has put in contract review.asl.json, because it will get fine-tuned with our prompts in the later section. Okay, so first part was to create the step function resource related section in the step functions.tf file, right? And then we had this definition getting put in the module section of step functions infra main.tf file. Okay, so with respect to Terraform, I think we have what we need at the minimum. Okay, now I mean, you can ask Copilot if you need anything else, but as far as I see, we have the environment. We need these 5 variables which will be set. Main.tf, we have basically declared the variables, and then we are mapping these variables to the variables which will get pushed to the infra root folder under the variables section here, and main.tf would use the values coming from those variables here, right? And then the settings which we place here in the module section would can traverse to the actual Terraform module specific settings. Okay, so we have done these settings for S3, IAM, Lambda, and step functions. Okay, now what we can do is we can basically now work on the user part of it, the local user setup, because we have to deploy the Terraform, right? Just like that, the Terraform won't get deployed. So I'll walk you through what you can do in a very simple way, how you can provide access to your local user to deploy the Terraform. And obviously what needs to happen on the AWS cloud is taken care of with your execution rules, so you need not worry about that. That is already in place. And plus, obviously, if anything you want to uh, restrict the privileges, because obviously what we have done here is provided very open settings as far as resources are concerned inside the policy. So if you want to make it more resource specific, you can do it at your end. Okay, so that is pretty easy to do. Okay, so you would have to basically play on this main.tf, and maybe and based on what resource gets created first, point that resource inside the module which is getting created afterwards, and so on and so forth. Okay, so uh, I'll basically stop this video right now. In the next video we will start off with the local user setup, how we can do it in a very simple way, and we take it from there. Hope you are liking the video series, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.